be a redneck if you ever cut your grass and you found a car. You might be a redneck if you own a home that's mobile and 5 cars that aren't. You might be a redneck if you own a homemade fur coat. You might be a redneck if you ever bathed with flea and tick soap. You might be a redneck if you've ever given rat traps as gifts. You might be a redneck if you've ever raked leaves in your kitchen. You might be a redneck if you read the Auto Trader with a highlighter. You might be a redneck if your mother has ammo on her Christmas list. You might be a redneck if you think a turtleneck is a key ingredient for soup. You might be a redneck if you prefer car keys to Q-tips.
Oh man, that's good. It works.
You might be a redneck if your kitchen doubles as a bait store. You might be a redneck if you replace a flat tire on your truck with a tire from your house.
Oh, you done that one.
You might be a redneck if your hunting dog costs more than your truck. You might be a redneck if you need an estimate from your barber before you get a haircut.
You do. That's right, boy. Boy.
You might be a redneck if your mother keeps a spit cup on the iron board. You might be a redneck if someone in your family says, "Come here and look at this before I flush it."
You should have seen the one I saw this morning.
You might be a redneck if you have flowers planted in the toilet in your front yard. Let's not clean. You might be a redneck if you own at least 20 baseball hats.
That's me.
You might be a redneck if you can tell your age by the number of rings in the bathtub. Oh, you must be old. You might be a redneck if you buy your wife tube socks at the flea market.
I love the flea market.
You might be a redneck if you bring your dog to work with you. You might be a redneck if you've ever used a weed eater indoors.
Oh my goodness.
You might be a redneck if your prom had a daycare. You might be a redneck if your kids take a zip-on hose to show and tell.
And they get free crack. We just leave that one in there.
You might be a redneck if you might be a redneck if your lifetime goal is to own a fireworks stand.
I'm close. I'm working on it. We're gonna get one too.
You might be a redneck if you think pork and beans is a gourmet food.
I love me some pork and beans. You want to get your pork and beans for dinner tonight? Oh, yeah.
You You might be a redneck if the neighbors signed a petition over your Christmas lights.
Oh, I hate my neighbors, man.
Yahoo!
They're such a pain in the butt.
You might be a redneck if fewer than half your cars move.
I got one now.
You might be a redneck if you need one more hole punched in your car to get a freebie at the House of Tattoos.
It's gonna be this one. Oh, I love the tattoos, you know that.
You might be a redneck if your brother-in-law is your uncle.
Oh my goodness. Think about that one. Oh my gosh, it's funny.
You might be a redneck if your kids are going hungry because you just had to have those Yosemite Sam mud flats.
It's not my fault. I took the dog. Good Lord.
You might be a redneck if you had to remove a toothpick for wedding pictures.
Boy, you gotta have a toothpick, please. I don't know what you're talking about.
You might be a redneck if you have lost at least one tooth opening a bottle.
More than once.
You might be a redneck if your dog and your wallet are both on trains.
Right that way you can only lose phone stuff, don't you? That's all.
You might be a redneck if you have more than two brothers named Bubba or Junior.
Bubba, I don't know where to do well.
You might be a redneck. Might be a redneck if your 2-year-old has more teeth than you.
I ain't got hardly no teeth left, man. Dang.
You might be a redneck if Thanksgiving was ruined because you ran out of ketchup.
Not on Thanksgiving. We never run out of ketchup. Gee, sure that I don't know.
You might be a redneck if you can pick dog hair out of your belly button.
I done that once or twice. I said, you it too.
I am.
You do it too. Let's go.
You might be a redneck if you and your dog pee on the same tree.
I see your guy right there do it all the time.
You might be a redneck if there's a wash nest in your living room. I'm ready for it, Daddy.
Go get him, boy. Go get him.
Might be a redneck if you've ever stolen toilet paper. I got some, Daddy.
Good job, man. Only one problem. Good Lord, that's only the last one day.
Might be a redneck if you keep a can of Raid on the kitchen table. It ain't gonna mess up my dinner.
Excellent. That's right. I can't stand them bugs, man.
Might be a redneck if you have been kicked out of the zoo for heckling the monkeys.
It's not my fault. They were picking on my boy, man. Good Jesus. I'm gonna fix that, man. That's what I used to do.
Might be a redneck if you hit a deer with your car on purpose.
No, the red
Nose reindeer.
It tasted really good or dinner last night. Oh, boy. No, come back now.
be a redneck if you ever cut your grass and you found a car. You might be a redneck if you own a home that's mobile and 5 cars that aren't. You might be a redneck if you own a homemade fur coat. You might be a redneck if you ever bathed with flea and tick soap. You might be a redneck if you've ever given rat traps as gifts. You might be a redneck if you've ever raked leaves in your kitchen. You might be a redneck if you read the Auto Trader with a highlighter. You might be a redneck if your mother has ammo on her Christmas list. You might be a redneck if you think a turtleneck is a key ingredient for soup. You might be a redneck if you prefer car keys to Q-tips.
Oh man, that's good.
You might be a redneck if your kitchen doubles as a bait store. You might be a redneck if you replace a flat tire on your truck with a tire from your house.
You done that one.
You might be a redneck if your hunting dog costs more than your truck. You might be a redneck if you need an estimate from your barber before you get a haircut.
You do. That's right, boy. Boy.
You might be a redneck if your mother keeps a spit cup on the iron board. You might be a redneck if someone in your family says, "Come here and look at this before I flip it."
You should have seen the one I said this morning.
You might be a redneck if you have flowers planted in the toilet in your front yard. Let's go. You might be a redneck if you own at least 20 baseball hats.
That's me. Oh,
You might be a redneck if you can tell your age by the number of rings in the bathtub. Oh, you must be old. You might be a redneck if you buy your wife tube socks at the flea market.
I love the flea market.
You might be a redneck if you bring your dog to work with you. You might be a redneck if you've ever used a weed eater indoors.
Oh my goodness.
You might be a redneck if your prom had a daycare. You might be a redneck if your kids take a zip-on hose to show and tell.
And they get free crack. We just leave that one in there.
You might be a redneck if... You might be a redneck if your lifetime goal is to own a fireworks stand.
I'm close. I'm working on it. We're gonna get one too.
You might be a redneck if you think pork and beans is a gourmet food.
I love me some pork and beans. You want to eat some pork and beans for dinner tonight? Oh, yeah.
You You might be a redneck if the neighbors signed a petition over your Christmas lights.
Oh, I hate my neighbors, man.
Yeah,
They're such a pain in the butt.
you might be a redneck if fewer than half your cars move.
I got one.
You might be a redneck if you need one more hole punched in your car to get a freebie at the House of Tattoos.
It's gonna be this one. Oh, I love the tattoos. You know that. She got
You might be a redneck if your brother-in-law is your uncle.
my goodness. Think about that one. Oh my gosh, it's funny.
You might be a redneck if your kids are going hungry because you just had to have those Yosemite Sam mud flats.
It's not my fault. I took me to dog. Good Lord.
You might be a redneck if you had to remove a toothpick for wedding pictures.
What? You gotta have a toothpick, please. I don't know what you're talking about.
You might be a redneck if you have lost at least one tooth opening a bottle.
More than once.
You might be a redneck if your dog and your wallet are both on chains.
Right up, well, you can only lose throat stuff. Oh, jeez. That's all.
You might be a redneck if you have more than two brothers named Bubba or Junior.